Hey everybody, it's Ailarra. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome back if you have been here before. Thanks for clicking if you are new to the channel. If you like what you see, maybe stick around. I have been in this chair wiggling around trying to get comfortable for some reason. I am feeling a little camera shy today, kind of. I don't know, it's weird. So for those of you who know me, the sleep thing is still a thing. But the last couple of days I have created a schedule a few days ago and set alarms to them. Like my entire day and week has been broken down into these, like, I feel like I'm in grade school. Like, this is ridiculous. I can't adult without a ton of alarms going, don't forget to stop and eat. You should probably start working now. You should probably stop working now. But I'm in an attempt to create some sort of stability in my sleep schedule and in my normal schedule. I'm giving it a try. But that also means that I have also blocked off a specific time to record my floss tubes. So now even if I'm like, not really sure if I'm in the mental state for it, we'll see. Hopefully I get into it and it's all fine. But so if I stick to this big if, because we know me and plans, I don't usually go according to plan. But the plan is to record weekly. So maybe there won't be an hour and a half long every single time I record. Or maybe it will be, and it'll be crazy. So I have notes somewhere. I don't know what I did with my notes. I must have wiggled around too long and forgotten what I did with everything. Okay, hang on, I got a file. Oh, I guess it is that time of year, isn't it? It's time for Hocus Pocus again. Anyone with me with binge watching that like 5 times over the Halloween season? Oh, this is ridiculous. Okay, hold please. I'll be right back. Okay, so hopefully that's not indicative of a hot mess yet to come. Okay, so I have, it's been what, a little over 3 weeks since I last talked to you guys? I have 8 projects to show you, but I feel like not a lot of progress. There's a couple of projects that got a decent chunk done, but there was a few days where I put like 30 stitches in, and that was all I could manage. Partly because I couldn't sleep, and then I had no sleep, and that's partly why I got frustrated and like, okay, here's a schedule. We're going to stick to it as best as humanly possible for now. I do have one shout out to do. This is a gal that I stumbled across on Instagram when I first started my channel almost a year ago now. I am coming up on, there seems to be a lot of Flosstube anniversaries coming up. But I didn't have an Instagram account when I even started recording. My Instagram account came about because I started Flosstube. And this lovely lady was one of the first people to subscribe to my little fledgling Instagram. And she has been so supportive and just a fantastic soul all around. And I have been bugging the crap out of her to make a floss tube, and she did. And then I felt really bad because I don't know how I missed it, but I missed it. And it was like, I just got done with her first video and it was 2 weeks old already. So Angie, I'm really sorry, because I know I was one of the people bugging you. But I loved it. She did a whip parade for her first video. Her channel is called Angie Slowly Crafts. And she does stitch very deliberately, I think is how I would describe her stitching process and progress from what I can see on Instagram and things. But it's actually really refreshing to have somebody say, you know what, it's not all about how much you can get done. It's not a race. It's just a journey. And she reminds me to remember that, even if she doesn't realize it. So go check her out. She's Angie Slowly Crafts on Instagram as well, and I'll link her below, of course. So let's get right into it. Like I said, if I'm going to make these weekly, I really don't want to bogart your time. Let's start. I wrote them down so that I could give you some stats. I know some people are interested in those, and I've actually been more interested in, as I hear them, to kind of, I don't know, it's nice to hear. It's fun to see people's progress. So not necessarily in order, but I had worked on Canopy Heart by Dakota Detweiler. This is Heaven and Earth Designs piece right before she retired. Or she has retired. There we go. And that's what I'm trying to do. And I am doing this. This was a gift from Suki, the Brown-Eyed Stitcher. And we are selling it together with a few other people have actually joined us now. So that is going to be this piece. There's a companion piece to it as well. That's Phoenix Rising, I believe is the name of it, that we got from Charting Creations. Both of us picked that one up too. I don't know when I'm going to start it, but that one's like a blue and black tree piece. I only put in 500 stitches on this for a total of 1,644 stitches. Now I have to find it. And I forgot to open my bags, but there's only a few bags you'll have to deal with. I got 500 stitches in. I don't know if you can really tell, and I don't even really know. My stitching method changes like by the hour. I don't remember where I was, so I'm sure you can see in the before pictures, but I am at a whopping 0.55% on this. There are a few people who have a ton of progress, and it looks fantastic. It's only got 11 colors. So you'd think it would stitch up relatively quickly. But I know the last couple of times I've pulled it out on our Sal Day at the end of the month, because we pulled out at the last day of the month-ish. I have just not, I don't know, maybe it's just the black and white at that point. I've actually, I don't know that I'm overloading myself with black, but I have been stitching a lot of black, like recently. Another one that I want to show you is Boudreaux. He is a memorial piece I'm doing for a friend of ours, who I'm going to kill if he ever sticks around on my videos long enough to hear that, because he has been sneaking in on some of my videos. Goober. But this was his puppers. Now this is basically their mock-up. And I don't know if you can see, there is a decent blue tinge to that. For now, I'm nicknaming him Boudreaux, because this sucker is blue. Like, almost looks purple in this lighting, but I only got a couple hundred stitches in here at the top. So, or where am I even? I don't even know. Here? Yeah, so I got a couple of these in. I don't know why I have not been called very much to this recently. I need to pick him up again, badly. I don't know if it is because of the coloration and I'm not restarting it. Nope. But also not wanting to ditch it. So we'll see. I'll get the tickle again to work on him. We did have a small camp out a couple of weeks ago. So I took one of my stamped cross stitches out to work on. Uh-oh. There it is. Just because it's a little easier while we're while I'm outside. I'm pretty sure this is a ripoff of a Dimensions kit of some sort. I don't know where to put stuff. Oh, and I forgot to talk about, and somebody did notice in the comment section, Mad Morty, who kindly shouted me out in one of her last videos. This is my husband's Star Wars wall. These are all Star Wars books. And the shelves go down further, of course. And then this is like toys and things, and try not to blind you with the light behind me, but like this whole cabinet's just chock full of Star Wars stuff. That's my husband's collection. So anyways, I put a couple of strings in just down the edge here. I don't know if you can see. Again, I don't remember where I was on this. You'll see in the picture. I probably should have. I actually took before photos the last video before I filmed, and that helped, but I forgot to do that today. So that's all going to have to go in post-editing. So, but I have it. I don't know if I'm going to come back up or if I'm just going to keep going around, and then, I don't know, whatever kind of floats my boat on this one, I think is what the name of the game is. It's not only been a swee-wee kind of time for me with stitch what I want when I want, there's also a stitch where I want when I want. But yeah, Boudreaux, like I said, I only got a couple hundred stitches in. He's got a total of 30,455 stitches in for 9.15%. And I did forget to mention Canopy Heart is on 28 count Aida, 1/1 full cross. And Boudreaux is also on 28 count Aida, but he is 2/1 10 stitch. One of my few that I'm going to keep is 10 stitch. Carousel Horse is 14 count. Yeah, 14 count stamp Aida. Okay. Next is one that I'm also selling. This is my piece for Mondays, which I did not work on this month. Yesterday, there was something much more important going on. Yesterday, I stitched a little bit still, but I needed something that I could not. It didn't need my full attention because something else needed my full attention. But Face of a Mermaid is what I have been working on, and been doing a Mermaid Monday Sal on Instagram, and I have had a few people join me, so that's really exciting. I know Judy from an Aussie and a Kiwi world is planning on starting the same one in December because she's on New Starts this year. What am I doing? You walk up. This is from Total Cross Stitch. Oh, Boudreaux is my own. I charted him on like pixelstitch.net, pixel-stitch.net. This is from Total Cross Stitch. And sorry for the glare, guys, but it's so much easier to just show these instead of putting in photos. Eventually, I'll get these printed out, so it'll be no glare. But she's actually like a third black as far as 310 goes. And the way it's charted, I mean, like, I didn't even realize it because of how the charting is. I love it. I love that I didn't even notice how much 310 there was in there. But I haven't gotten to it yet. And I did put in 750 stitches in this piece for a total of 5,572 stitches for 6.37%. I am stitching this on a 28 count. I think it's a Lugana. It's not Aida. That's all I know. But you can start, I can really start seeing the ridges of the shell coming in here, which that was really exciting. I finally got this bubble done. And you can kind of see some of these other bubbles that are really subtle. I love it. I love this piece. I think I'm loving it so much because it is a smaller piece. So I'm actually going to see more progress quicker. but the details are still so amazing. Now this, I think, is like these kind of weird blended, I think that's my my thread color being off. That's definitely an off-brand DMC and does not match. I finally looked at my DMC thread book and I was like, that's not really that green. So yeah. So I'm keeping that in the Q-snap and bringing her out most every Monday. All right, next I worked on, and I think I've been kind of in a mood, not necessarily to work on my oldest whips, because I definitely have more older whips than this, but I've been feeling very, I don't know what the word is, like I haven't had the urge to work on a whole bunch of pieces. I'm still very ADD when it comes to it. I still can't. I don't think I worked on anything more than 3 days in a row, but I did tend to rotate between a few projects within the time period that I've been stitching. This is the piece that got me back into cross stitching, so I am kind of wanting to just start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel with this one. I'll just call it Pegasus. I'm sure, again, this one's a ripoff. It's a stamped kit. Back when I didn't know any better, but yeah, this was the piece that I got when I first started getting back into cross stitch. So let me put the before shot in here because this one's huge and hard to show. So I worked up in the upper cloud area above that, what is that, the right wing, left wing, above the left wing. And then here is where he is now. And I did get 1,100 stitches in. And I apologize for the sound quality. I know I don't like the microphone on this new phone as much as my old phone. And I have not purchased a separate microphone yet. It is in the works. It's not ordered, but I'm planning on it. So a lot of coloration up in here. So I was pretty happy with that progress. That's just another 14 count kit for that one, I believe. Yes, 14 count, 2/1. And I don't have percentages on that one. I just keep track of what I do in a stitching session. Oh. Okay, I'm going to do that one last, actually. So the next three were the three that I got the most progress on. Pegasus was, I actually kind of wrote them down almost in order of the, anyway, it doesn't matter. You don't care. Let's do Veil Nebula next. This is from Heaven and Earth Designs. It is an asset image. This is the supersized max color version. Oops. And love this piece. It's not necessarily a focus, but it's definitely a favorite of mine. And I'm working, sorry, glare, light, reflection. You'll see. You'll see. This one I got in 2,286 stitches. It now has a total of 15,782. I'm up to 2.37%, and I had another page finish. Did I have a page finish last time, guys? I'm pretty sure I did. Hang on. I should have. Sorry, I'm not used to having my pieces out of Q-snaps yet. And I forget that I need to fold these. I took it with me for my stitching meetup last time with my girlfriends that are local to me. And I got coffee on it. Luckily, it's full coverage and it'll cover it up. So I'm not too worried about it. But I got Sorry, there is a feather right there. But yeah, got a page finished. There is actually a lot more color in this page than there has been in the first pages. There you can't tell really. Can't you tell if I come up really close? There is a smattering of 939 all through the right half of that page. It is so subtle, and a lot of, some people may be like, oh, it's not different enough, should have just stitched it black, but there's going to be a subtle blending in that night sky towards the colors in the nebula, and I'm so excited about that. So yeah, page 2 is finished, and holy moly, paid pages are huge. So this one may go away for a little while. I don't know. Again, this is... Oh, sorry guys, that was really loud. I dropped my tablet. I hope your ears are okay if you had earbuds in. I will try to. Hopefully I will have toned that down on editing. Okay, next is the Dragons of the Sabbat by Ann Stokes. This is a pain-free crafts chart. That a lot of people are selling together. Some of us are stitching black, some of us are not, some of us are doing just the individual dragons. Sarah, the owner of Paine Free Crafts, is, holy cow, she has like this whole inner circle and up into this dragon now, and it looks amazing. This blue just, it's like electrified neon glows. It's gorgeous. So I'm super excited for this piece and what she's done with it. I was hoping for another page finish. I did not get there, but that's okay. I got 1,300 stitches in. I have a total of 9,600 stitches, all black. I didn't bother taking it out of the Q-snap because it's just, oh, there you go. It's right there at the edge. All black. I'm at 1.59% complete on this. I definitely have a goal to get this last 1,900 stitches in before I decide to put him away for a little bit. Or I'll keep him out. I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know what I want to do, guys. Decisions. Okay. Last piece I worked on in anticipation of Dark Queen of the Earth, which has been released. The first part is out. A ton of people are stitching that this year, and I'm right on the bandwagon with it. I purchased it right as soon as it came out. Ordered the fabric and bead pack from Leslie from Under the Sea Fabrics. I received my fabric. We'll go ahead and blend haul and progress. I'm going to do my Dark Queen of the Earth on the Gilded Oak fabric. Mine turned out very lovely. I know there has been some issues with some fabrics, but mine came out just fine, thankfully. Now, I have not started her because the specialty threads and the beads, well, the beads they have, the specialty threads I think is what they were waiting on. There were so many of us that ordered and are starting the Dark Queen of the Earth that the I know she had to special order the beads, I believe, and they had to, Rainbow Gallery had to do a run of the specialty threads just for the Sal. So I'm patiently waiting for it. I would rather have it before I start that part. As we get closer to the end of September and the second part coming out, we'll see how I feel about waiting again to start it. But it was almost a year before I started Dark Queen of the Seas into the Sal, so I'm not too fussed by it. But this one had my attention hardcore for like 3 days straight, and I put in a lot of stitches while I was stitching it. I was 10 stitches shy of 3,000 in 3 days. I wish I knew the percentage on that, but basically it was the entire 5th part. I finished the last little chunk of her hair over here on the left, right, and then stitched that entire part. I do have the back stitch left to do, which I will do before I move on to whatever part is next. I just, by the time once I got it stitched and to the back stitch part, I was done for the time being on that one. I was actually really impressed with this part, because when I see pictures, and it's even doing it now on camera, the shading, there is actually quite a few different shades of this tan, orange, beige, brown color. And it blends beautifully. It's actually well shaded, but it looks very flat on camera, in pictures, but in person, it has a lot of dimension. It has a lot of depth. So I'm actually really, really happy with how that turned out. So there's my Dark Queen of the Seas. I had some pull to try to get her done before I started working on Dark Queen of the Earth. But that's not really practical. There is a lot left to stitch on her, and I don't want to wait that long to start Dark Queen of the Earth. So I'm not going to wait. I'm going to wait on, hopefully, the specialty threads, though. We'll see. All right, so that was my progress. Here's how many stitches I got done this past 3 weeks, just because I think it was fun when I stuck it in there last time. And if I actually do this weekly recording, I think it'll be a nice, for me, just to track my progress, basically. My stitch product. Now, to be fair, it's probably going to drop relatively significantly, if not quite a. So I'm kind of on the fence about recording every week. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think you could stand me for every week? Because I'm a little worried that my progress is actually not going to be as interesting if I do that, simply because of this new schedule. I'll talk about my schedule for life updates, but I'm kind of worried. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not gonna stress about it. Stop stressing. Stop stressing, Ailarra. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Okay. So the fabric was part of my haul. That's really, honestly, the only haul I had, and that was ordered months ago. I did have, what do I want to talk about first? I did have some stitchy kindness. My birthday was Sunday, and my lovely friend Kristen bugged me until I gave her my email address so that she could go look at my wish lists, a couple of them. And I locked my tablet, and I was not ready to do that. She gifted me for my birthday one of the patterns off of my Paine Free Crafts wish list. I'm so excited. This is there's a lot of white. There we go. This is White Horse by Kajena Art, charted by Paine Free Crafts. And I actually did start this. However, I have to rip out everything that I did. Which isn't that much, thankfully. There. That was my start. That's like, I don't know, 130 stitches maybe. Maybe not even that. But I messed up and left a row out in here. So this section is all 1, 2. I'm just going to rip it out. I didn't want to grid with my friction pens on this because those do leave sort of a white ghost image once you erase it, once you iron it out. And I didn't want to take the chance of this, because what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, the white background is all stitched, but I'm going to omit that and use this fabric. And this is a 28 count Lugana from Be Stitch Me in the colorway Winter Blues. So I think I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to go ahead and take all this out. And I'm going to grid it with thread of some sort. I have got a ton of sewing thread. I don't have any of the cool sulky thread or anything like that. So I don't know. Tell me, you guys that do thread gridding like that. I don't have any. I don't think I have any sulky. And I don't have fishing line. But I have like sewing thread. Excuse me, sewing thread. That's like a real dark purple. Excuse me, take a drink. I have a sewing thread that's like a real dark purple that I could just sew through, you know, baste the blocks with. You think that would work? Let me know in the comments, because I have no idea. I either don't grid, which obviously was a mistake on that one. I think it's because the 28 count is just too small to trust where my eyes are going. And I have never gridded with thread or anything like that. So let me know. What do you use? And then, now this is not cross stitch related, but this was also a gift, and I showed this on Instagram and I got a lot of awesome feedback on it. My mom, okay, partly life update story time, because I have to explain this haul. Kindness. Near where I live, there is an annual fiber arts festival, show, what have you, called a wool gathering. And it's held at a local Jersey dairy that they do like ice cream, and it's been there. It's been a fixture for years, and it's held around my birthday every single year that they've had. Of course, you know, during COVID they didn't have it, but my mom and I love going there. And the last time we were able to go, I was still really into my crochet and knitting and stuff. And that's what she still does. Her hands are too arthritic to do cross stitching anymore, so she usually just sticks with quilting and knitting and crochet and things like that. She really likes to knit. But she wanted to go, and she wanted to take me because she knows I still like yarn. And we found this. Isn't it scrumptious? Oh, I love it. And this just screams me. Purple, blue, pink, black. Yep. I love it. Now this is from the Yarnsmith. They are out of, where are they out of? I can't remember where they're out of. They're not in Ohio, but they are in the US, and they do all their own dyeing. I'll link them below. This is called Purple Skies at Night. It's a fingering weight yarn. It is a 75% merino wool, 25% nylon. I love this. I love the color. And I am doing, I wanted to make something, and my mom bought me 4 skeins, and I have a ball winder. So I caked it up. That's what it looks like in a skein, or out of the hank. Oh, here's the business card. Nope, still don't know where they're out of. I went to their website. I forgot. But I wanted to make something that I wouldn't walk on, as in socks, that I would actually wear, because I don't wear hats in the winter. I don't wear scarves in the winter unless I remember and that I'm going to freeze my butt off if I go outside. So I went and I looked up fingering, oh, that's a terrible picture. I will insert a picture here. Fingering weight yarn shirt patterns. And I prefer short sleeves and layering, because hot and cold happens. It's like I've got hot flashes already because I can't regulate my temperature very well. But this is called, what is this called? It's a drops design. I'm sorry if you're only here for stitching. This is not going to be the whole rest of the video, I promise. I still have stitchy stuff to talk about, I promise. Catch the Wind. Yes, Catch the Wind is the shirt called. And I love the lace pattern on the side. My birthday, this was my birthday start. I spent most of it knitting, knitting and frogging, because it took me I am not an expert knitter by any stretch of the imagination. My tension is still very tight. It always has been. I'm more of a comfortable crocheter, but I prefer the look of knitting. I have really bad Flosstube itchiness, guys. I'm really sorry. But it took me 3 swatches to get the gauge right. And then I started it and realized that, because this is worked top down, so the neck down. And I realized that the gauge tension for the neck, I wasn't going to get it past here. So I measured my head, and then I had to do test knitting on a larger size needle just for the neck opening. And then I switched down. I've worked on it every morning since Sunday, which was my birthday. And that's how far I've gotten. Woo! But, I mean, this is working up. I love the pattern that it's putting in here. And there's the beginning of, can you see that? Yeah. Look. The beginning of the lace pattern. So, but that's it. That's all. I don't knit or crochet hardly at all, but I still want to show you, so hope you don't mind. It'll make a little appearance probably every week until I get it done. Oh, okay. Exciting. When we bought the yarn, I realized my knitting needles were all in storage in our barn. And as my mother spent a decent amount of money, it's hand-dyed yarn. And if you've ever purchased hand-dyed yarn, that stuff's expensive. It can be. This was like show special, so it was cheap. It was still $20 a skein. So she spent $80 on me, which she didn't have to. But she was like, I want you to make something that you will wear, so get what you need. Okay. She was like, and if you have stuff left over, knit me socks. Okay. But anyways, I had to go look for my knitting needles, and I had no idea. My husband was not home. I took my son to the barn, and we started digging and digging and digging. And I actually had him bring some boxes of, like, here's the stack of boxes that I had him put in the car to bring to the house. Those are all crafting magazines, mostly knit, crochet, and miscellaneous crafting magazines and books. I need to go through them, and I need to actually weed out most of them. I'm actually debating on whether or not I should make a D-stash page on my website at Ailarra Designs, because I can't, the thought of just throwing them out, I don't like that idea. But at the same point in time, I really don't need to hoard them anymore. So I'm kind of thinking about making like a D-stash page, because I have diamond paintings that I really need to get rid of and sell, because I'm not going to get to them in my lifetime. I still like them, but other ones are always going to take priority over the ones that I've picked out to get rid of. So I might just throw them up on my website. I don't know if you guys are polygamous crafters like I am, but let me know if that's something that you think is, I don't know. Do you think that's a good idea? Should I do that? I don't know. I'm just asking for opinions at this point. Not that for you to buy them, but just, does that sounds like something that would be a good idea? I don't know. But anyways, blah, blah, blah. I'm getting into what I'm good at. Yappy, yappy. I found my finishes. It's only 2 of them, but I found the ones that I have been looking for, that I'd stuck away somewhere, and I was really proud of them, and I couldn't find them. Now, I have not washed these. They're pretty disgusting. So I hope you don't mind, but I'm so excited that I found them, and I have not had time. I have not made the time to wash them yet, because I'm going to do all of the ones that I found. The ones that I showed you in my last video, which I was also really excited to find, that one seascape one. I'm going to do them all at once. So that's like a chunk of time that I've not figured out when I want to allot that time for. The first one is a ribbon. It's just like an embellished ribbon embroidery piece that I did years and years ago. This was, oh, this was from Dimensions. 1997 was when it was printed. And I probably did it pretty close after that. I'm sure I bought it new. But she has, I have stuff. I need a board, guys. I was at the store the other day and I saw a poster board and I went, wasn't there something I need a poster board for? Why would I need poster board? I need a poster board. But she's mostly printed. And then she has these, so I'm going to get right up in your face, guys. I was really proud of the French knots and how they came out on this piece too. But it's like ribbon embroidery. It's gotten really squashed from being in storage. And then that spot, I really hope that spot comes out. I don't know what that is. It happened in storage. Shame on me because I didn't know how to store things. But I just thought she was so pretty when I got her done. I was meant to gift it to my mom, but I never got it framed. And then I moved like, I think I moved like 10 times in 2 years, at pretty close after I got this finished. So it was just never a priority to get done. And then I couldn't find it until just now. So I don't know if if that washes up nicely, if I'll frame it and give it to her now. I don't know. I don't know what I'll do with it. This one took me 5 years. It was my first true full coverage finish. It is not a fully finished object. Obviously, I said that it was filthy. It needs to be washed. I think this was Dimensions. It's definitely reminiscent of Dimensions as far as the background having a lot of half stitching. And it does, yeah, there's multiple thread, like strand count differences. I'm pretty sure this was Dimensions, but I don't remember. I know it took me 5 years to do. And I just realized it has my previous name on it, so we're gonna how do we want to do this? You know what, it's not my name anymore. You're not gonna care. And again, I'm sorry because this hopefully it doesn't show up too bad on camera, but it is absolutely filthy. Don't look in the corners, guys. But I loved this piece. It was not, I don't remember it being super confetti heavy at all, but I know that grass took me forever to do. But yeah, like this is definitely the piece that made me fall in love with full coverage pieces, and the detail that can be had from man, that looks good on camera. Oh my gosh, so good. So I'm hoping that all the grossness washes out, because guys, I worked in a hoop. I worked with the hoop in my hand, so the oils from my hands and stuff got on it. You know how it is. The fabric itself was a cream Aida, so at least I got that going for me. Okay, that's it for kindness finishes. Okay, so plans. You know, I don't really make plans. My biggest plans right now are to focus on this new schedule of mine. Hope it works and sticks, to actually maybe get some consistent filming done for you guys. Because I mean, I actually like thought about it the other day, and there's over 1,600 of you now. I don't know how that happened. I'm very grateful, but it blows my mind. I don't deserve you guys at all, but I'm very, very happy you're here. So yeah, I'm actually kind of gonna move right into life-ish with this, my plans kind of thing, because I've sort of divided my day up a little bit more, hopefully mentally healthy friendly, mental health friendly. Say that 5 times fast. I don't even know if I said it right still. Because I have found that if I don't break up my day, I tend to, okay, I have ADHD undiagnosed. There's no doubt about it. It runs rampant in my family. My husband has it. I'm sure my kids have it. At least the little guy. He's, so either I am all over the place all the time and can't focus on anything, or I am hyper focused. And the hyper focused is not necessarily a healthy thing to do. Yes, it gets a lot of something done, but sometimes it can be to the detriment of work that I actually need to get done, i.e. a ton of stitching, instead of really what I need to be focusing on is work. I still work every day, but at a fraction of the output that I really should be having. But I think that's also partly because of hyper-focusing, because I was so hyper-focused on our business when we first got it up and running. I was working 2 full-time jobs. I was out of the house working. I would come home and I would work another 8 hours. And it just, I wouldn't want to say burnt me out, but it definitely caused some friction in my mind as far as a healthy balance between doing that and life. But yeah, so now I'm to the point where I need to stop hyper focusing on any one thing, but I also need a structure so that I'm getting something done and not just flitting around like a butterfly. So I've got it so that I'm going to bed at a certain time. I'm at midnight. Let's go to bed at midnight, because I kind of trying to work with my husband's schedule as well. So we're heading to bed about midnight. I'm up at 8. That is still extremely hard right now. The last couple of days I've smacked the alarm for like half an hour, 45 minutes, until it's like, okay, no, we're doing this. We've got to get up. I'm super sluggish. I'm very long time before I'm kind of awake and ready to go. I'm still very fatigued all day. And again, I think that's because my sort of natural inclination is to be up all night. But it's not sustainable, not with my family, not with the work that I need to do. So what I did was, I have allowed myself this much time to eat, get ready, kind of morning routine or whatever have you. I come downstairs, and rather than jumping right into work, which kind of makes me sad to just boom, I'm right at work. I've decided to allow myself like an hour or 2. I think it's 2. Yeah, 2 hours in the morning to do crafty. And right now I'm like, I'm gonna knit in the morning and get some of my shirt done. And if I don't feel like knitting, I will do something else. I'll, put my cross stitch out or whatever. And do that. And then an alarm goes off, and that's when I start working. I, finish up a thread or whatever 100 batch I'm doing, finish that up, and then I start work. I have an alarm for my medications, so I'm not missing those. So I'm actually on a schedule, because I think a lot of my anxiety and my depression has been kind of rearing its ugly head, but I think it's because a lot of times I'm with my sleep being all over the place. My schedule for my medicine wasn't consistent, and that's really important. If you are on medication to help balance your mental health chemicals, it's important to take those at the same time every day. Otherwise, it just you're constantly fighting this out of balance dynamic in your like physical brain. So I'm hoping that can help keep me a little bit more level. Then I've got an alarm for, hey, you need to stop for lunch, even if I decide I'm not hungry. I'm being flexible with myself, and that, okay, well, I'm hungry an hour earlier, so we'll take our lunch and do that. I need structure with flexibility. And I just turned 43, and yes, I'm still trying to figure out how to adult. So if you're struggling with me, you're not alone, because adulting is hard. I've never really figured it out. There's no manual for it. And there is some point when you get kind of tired of everybody thinking they know what's best for you and getting 5 different ways to do things. And you're like, but I don't know if any of these work for me. And anyways, tangent. And then I have a cutoff time. I'm working my chunk for our business, for our main business, and then I stop. And I think what's going to happen, what's feeling like it's already happening, is that I'm focusing more, like I'm not just sitting in my chair scrolling through my phone because I can't quite concentrate. Like, it's giving me, having that solid cutoff time is allowing me to not feel like there's no end in sight, if that makes sense. And I just went black and white. My phone just went to bedtime, so I need to finish up here soon. But yeah, having that, okay, this is when I'm going to be done. It's not making me drag my feet as much. Once I'm done with that, I pull out my stuff for Ailarra Designs. Bags are actually getting some love again. My mental health has not been in a good place to focus on those at all. Struggling with feeling like I'm sitting at the sewing machine working on hammocks all day long, yet getting not enough done, has really put a damper on that. So I'm like, okay, I'm stopping here and I'm picking this up and I'm working on it. And I work on that until dinner. We have dinner. If I still feel like going on Ailarra Designs, I work a little bit more. But I have a cutoff time for that when, okay, you're done for the day. It's time to relax. I give myself another couple of hours, I think, to do my cross stitch. Whereas before, I would get so that feeling of that hamster, like I was in a, I don't know, I was running in circles, getting nothing done. And I would get so frustrated and aggravated that I would turn it off and go stitch for 8 or 9 hours or 10 hours or 12 hours and really get nothing done. So I'm really hoping that this is a way for me to sort of prioritize. I need to start here, because my health goal has definitely, it's not on the back burner, but my mental health has, I don't think my mental health being in the state it was in was allowing me to focus any kind of way on my health. Like, my goal was to drink water. That's as far as I've gotten. Like, I have got to, make one small change that is not hard, which is really hard, oddly. Because I have to focus. Making a whole schedule for a day and a week is like, it's a lot of change at once when you're used to just kind of, whatever I feel like doing, this is what I'm going to do. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, boom, going back to school. Here's your schedule. Here's when you're going to go to class and be done. I'm hoping that this is something that I can stick to and that I can go back to if I'm off track, like for our events and stuff. That schedule is going to go out the window for those weekends. But having it in my phone as sort of, it's in my head. This is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to, you're going to be tired for a day. Get over it. Get up at the time that you set your alarm. Have a tired day. Go to bed at a normal time and you'll be fine the next day. And I've heard a few people say that, they set goals for themselves, and as soon as they say it out loud, it's like they rebel against it. Like, why do we do that? If you have an answer, let me know, because I know I am not the only one that struggles with that. Like, we make good goals for ourselves and then we self-sabotage, and what is up with that? So yeah, we'll see if you see a video from me next Wednesday, because I'm not editing this tonight. This is Tuesday, September 20th. Forgot to say that an hour ago. September the 20th. And if you see another video, so I'll edit tomorrow morning during my crafty time. That's That's what I'll be doing while I'm stitching or whatever. So yeah, if you see another video next week on Wednesday, you'll know that maybe it works. And I'm keeping it up. So positive juju this way, because I need it. I need it. Something's got to give, guys. Something's got to give. So, all right. I think I'm going to cut this off now. I had I will update you on the Wasp Saga from last time. My son has been stung a total of 5 times now. 5. 2 in one day, and then a third one the next day. He has turned here. I said I was going to cut off, and now I'm going to jabber again. Okay, this last story, and then I'll be done. I promise. So now, and this happened every time we told him, hey, you need to go pick up some of your toys. It's getting a little messy. His toys are kind of lined up against the wall where the windows are. Well, the wasp's nest is in the wall somewhere, like around the corner in the wall. They have worked their way through the wall. Our basement windows are unfinished, so there's a gap between the drywall and the studs, and they're coming out of that gap. His toys are all lined up along that wall with those windows. Every single time we told him to go clean up his toys, he would get stung. Do you know how hard it is to get a 4-year-old to clean up after themselves sometimes? And then you get stung on top of it. Yeah, he was not having cleanup time. Nope. Because the bees were going to get him. And I don't blame him. I would be terrified too. And then, bless his heart, he was watching a movie, sitting in a chair, like the TV is on the same wall as where the bees were coming up. Couch is about halfway through that room. He was in chairs and stuff. He was sitting on a chair, minding his own business. He got stung again. So now he's scared to sit in the chairs. So he's sort of stopped hanging out in the area where his toys and where his area was, and has moved over into our work area. And that's where he sits. That's where he has his snacks. That's where he plays. Like, he'll drag a bin of toys all the way through our work area over to where the tile is to go to the outside and play there. And I feel awful for this poor kid, because he's terrified he's going to get stung in his area. Now, the wasps have disappeared for now. I don't know if it's because the pest control finally worked, or if it's because the seasons are changing and they're going into hibernation. So this may be one of those to be continued. I really hope not. Man, I'm so tired of those wasps. We were still killing like 20 to 30 a day up until they just kind of disappeared. So we'll see. We'll see in spring if the wasps come back. But yeah, the dog got stung once. My oldest got stung once. Poor little guy, 5 times. 5. Yes, that is all I'm going to talk about, because the rest is just sad. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me again. If you haven't subscribed and you enjoyed my prattle for an hour, feel free to subscribe. Would love to have you back. And yeah, we will hopefully see you next week. Take care. Bye, guys.